So, what am I learning on this 90-day run? So, becoming a CEO and the plan of self-development, right? Are you developing yourself? Are you investing in yourself? And are you taking time for yourself? Everyone, Chef Katrina here, and you are joining me on my 90-day run of becoming CEO. So, we're talking about what's this journey been like? What's it like to show up? What's it like to stay in action? And if you've been paying attention, you'll be wondering like, hey, chef, you missed 2 nights. Like we didn't see you. What's going on with that? And, that was actually something that came up. I'm in a private little mastermind group of these 12 individuals from entrepreneurs, all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ways of building their business. And we meet every Tuesday night and we get together and we discuss, what's working, what's not working in our business. We look for how we're leveraging the entrepreneurial community that we're part of. And it's like, okay, how is this working? What do we need to change? How are we, supporting each other, right? So one of the things that came up inside of our conversation today was self-development, but also self-awareness. Like, what are we doing to take care of ourselves inside of this 90-day run that we're all in? And what was interesting is that when we talked, everybody in there was like last week really was kind of like a week to reset, right? They went 3 weeks strong, and then we hit that fourth week, right, of this 90 days. And everyone was just like, okay, what's working? We've done this, we've done that, and I don't like this, and I like this. And, what is it working, right? So that's the evaluation process that always needs to get done. We're always checking in and saying, okay, what are we actually focused on? What is it, the actions that are actually producing the results that we want to get? How are we growing as leaders? How are we taking care of ourselves as leaders? Because all of this plays a role in becoming CEO, right? We're all becoming the CEO of our own companies. We're all becoming the CEO of our own lives in reality, right? And so we were like, well, what can we do to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves? So we talked a lot about, and I mentioned this in some of my previous training that I've done inside of this challenge, is really honoring your calendar. Blocking time for your family, blocking time for dinner, blocking time for your self-development. How are you spending 30 minutes? And are you making sure you're taking those 30 minutes to read a book, to read 10 pages of a book? Are you writing down what's working, what's not working, right? So self-development inside of this run of becoming CEO really has been more about, what am I doing to maintain my overall health, right? Am I getting out of my office? Am I getting out into the world? Am I going for my walks? Am I taking care of myself such that I don't burn out in this process, right? To stay inside of this business and take it on as aggressively as we're doing does take a commitment level, but it doesn't take sacrifice to the extent that you sacrifice your own health and well-being, right? That's not what we're looking for inside this 90-day challenge. We want to look at what relationships are being created. And I think this was something that came up, and I don't know if you agree with me or not on this one, but when we had started this 90-day challenge, one of the things that was sent to us was the 90-day challenge by Eric Worre. And Eric Worre talks about how you're going to have to sprint into this 90-day challenge. You're going to want to make sure you have conversations with your family and let them all know that you're going to be working late into the nights, and you're always going to seem like you're on your phone or on your calls, but all this stuff, right? And then his testimonials, when I was listening to them, are also gentlemen, right? They're all guys also. And when I look at the guys that have successfully run a 90-day sprint for building out their company or building a network marketing company, they're always talking about, I dug in, and what we created in the first 90 days basically has fueled my business moving forward. And what's interesting is I have a group of 12 women, actually 11 women, 1 guy, 2 guys. So 8 women or 10 women and 2 guys on this team, right? And what's interesting is as we are female entrepreneurs, what we're discovering is, how do we balance the run for 90 days in terms of building that residual incomes, in terms of creating and opening those connections. And most of us will say that we like building relationships. What we've discovered inside this process is that we don't want to just copy and paste things to people. We're discovering how to have our own voice, our own approach to how we're sharing our business and how we're sharing this entrepreneurial tribe that we're all part of, right? So that's becoming more of the conversation. So it was like, okay, great. What worked? What didn't work? What we might do differently in the beginning, right? Do we need to make some adjustments? Do we need to, change things up a bit? That's all part of the process of 90 days, right? You start out with plan A and you're like, okay, this is going to work. This is exactly how we're going to run it. We're going to go through it. And then you start going through it, right? Just like any entrepreneur, like any business, you start going through it. And as you're going through it, you're like, okay, this is what we figured out at the day 30, right? Which is really what we're at. We're at day 30. It's like, okay, so what did we find out about ourselves? What did we find out about some of the things that we're testing? Did they work? Did they not work? Does anybody feel like they need a reboot? Like I had to take, kid you not, I had to take a day and a half off, right? But that day and a half that I took off also showed up as 2 nights missed from doing a YouTube live, right? Does that make me not an entrepreneur? Does that make me not a CEO? No, that just makes me make sure that I'm taking care of self so that I can continue to serve, right? So that we all need a recharge, right? We all need to kind of just be like, okay, I just need a quick unplug. Okay, plug back in. We're ready to go, right? At least for me and for the females that I'm working with, that was our common link with all of us is like, just need about 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, decompress everything that we've been going through, look at everything that we've done, touch base with family and friends, and then get back into this, right? But we're doing more work than we've ever done before. But inside of that, we're also recognizing where our barriers are at, right? Where do we have to be responsible inside of what we're doing? So that, I think, came out of the big discussion is that, inside of this 90 days of building a business, I don't want you to be self-sacrificing to the point that you're taking yourself out of business. I want you to look at, are you taking care of yourself for your business, right? Because if you're taking care of yourself, your business is going to improve. You might actually be more in action after taking that 24-hour break. And it doesn't hurt your business. It actually helps you reset for your business. So like today, I was talking with a 7-figure earner, and I'm doing his Pinterest for him. So we were talking about different strategies and what we needed to do. If I had been keeping the routine that had been up and then probably walked into that conversation, I'm not sure I would have been as fresh for that conversation and looking at how to, put together his strategy for Pinterest, right? So knowing that I needed a bit of time to reboot gave me an opportunity to be a better service provider for my Pinterest ad clients, those that I'm going to be running promoted pins for. It allowed me to listen a little better, right? So you want to make sure that inside of any challenge you take on, whether it be 30-day video challenge or it takes a business challenge, because this is really what we're talking about here. This is 90 days to CEO, 90 days to business building, 90 days of staying consistent and then finding and discovering yourself along the way. Are you continuing to take action after you take your break, or are you letting that snowball you and take you out of the game? Are you using your downtime to reevaluate, or using your downtime to sulk because nobody's joining, or you're not getting the results that you thought you should get right out the door, right? So these are all conversations that you begin to have with yourself inside of your 90-day sprint. So being surrounded by this entrepreneurial community, I will tell you, has been a blessing, because I know every Tuesday night, no matter what, I have to show up. And when I show up for my Tuesday nights and I show up for those calls that I'm having for other entrepreneurs and helping them grow and scale their business, there is now an accountability for me, and I actually get lifted up out of whatever I'm dealing with because I'm back in service again. I'm back helping other people. And that will always pull me out of whatever I'm dealing with, because the moment I can start helping other people, then whatever I'm dealing with is kind of like a null and void, right? So if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to connect and dive into an entrepreneurial community that's here to support you, give you education and training, provide you with opportunities to have incentives to grow and scale your business, if you'd like to leverage a community of entrepreneurs to get more brand exposure, to get more brand equity, to learn the business skills that can really make a difference in learning how to open up conversations, then I invite you to watch just a quick 3-minute video. The link is down below. But this is your opportunity to learn, hey, is this project, this young entrepreneur project, the right fit for you? Does it match up with your business goals? Can you see it as a way to grow and scale your business? And if any of those are answered yes inside of this 3-minute video that you're looking at, then I invite you to move on and then reach out to me. Let me know, say, hey, I'm interested in learning more. Let me help me out. So that's what I'll have for you tonight. So thank you guys for jumping back in and joining me. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and click #replay. I love hearing from you. I love growing with you. And I hope you're having an amazing day. And I'm back in the saddle. We're back doing YouTube lives. You're also going to catch me doing some Facebook lives inside this process. So if you're following me at either or, we're in a good place. With that, I hope you're having a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, everyone.